Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Welcome, folks.
Howdy, everybody.
Joe, did you like that rough start?
Yeah, you're getting it. You're getting the hang of it, Phil.
Yes, my buddy Jeff always nails it perfectly, but one day I'll get there. But it's fun anyway, learning new software and making sure I'm doing it right.
Hey.
But anyway, folks, welcome to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk, where tonight's topic, we're going to be talking about the West State Archaeological Society Metal Detecting Club, how to run a metal detecting club. So if you have questions on clubs, we're going to talk about that. And it looks like I got my shirt on. Mine's old school, and Joe has the new shirt on. And, of course, he's Employee of the Month. So let's do our – go ahead, Joe.
No, I said I'm absolutely the employee, the one and only.
There you go. So I think we'll do our housekeeping real quick. As always, today's show is brought to you by your friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure. And, of course, the views, thoughts, and opinions expressed here by the Treasure Talk guest and member belong solely to the guest and member, not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Joe Vizzi, or Jeff Monin. So we got them all covered. And, of course, the purpose of Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of treasure hunting and metal detecting, treasure hunting in all of all forms, and to educate our customers or our members in a fun, exciting manner. And that's what we're going to do tonight. And I'm staring across the room at Jocelyn. She's over there. So if you guys have any questions, be sure to type them in the stream, and Jocelyn will get them on the screen for me so we can get them asked and answered for sure. But today I'm excited because we have a Treasure Talk member and a WSAS member, which of course Joe and I are members, but we have my buddy Steve, and he is actually a member and the treasurer of West State Archaeological Society. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him on.
He absolutely is. He took my spot, right, Phil?
Yes, he did. He's the treasurer of the club. So let me bring him on real quick. Hey, Steve.
Hey, guys.
Welcome.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, we're just excited because we're talking about the metal detecting club. And now you must have been originally from Oklahoma, right?
Yes, native Oklahoman.
Okay, so were you in the club out there?
Yes, the Indian Territory Treasure Hunters Club, and that was my first club. And I've been in clubs because of my background in television. I was able to work at many different stations and have been in several metal detecting clubs across the country.
Awesome. So what do you think of the Tampa club? Is it
I think it's great.
Okay.
I think it rates up there with all of them. You know what? The thing about a metal detecting club, if you think about it, it's a hobby that's really you do by yourself. You know, you guys understand that. It's you go out with and you swing. You know, it can be fun with other people. We found that out, and I think that's why if you metal detect, you should be in a club. Because that's the way to not only meet people, but learn. And I've learned a lot from being in a club.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really, really good members in the club that we're in, not only for metal detectorists, but we do have guys that are experts in bottles, you know, people that dig bottles, can identify the bottles. We also have great members such as Ricky T, he's on here, that's an expert with fossils. He's constantly hunting the Peace River. He knows that area in and out, and he knows how to identify what the fossil is that you find. And we also have members that can identify coins, like where we have our meeting we have Richard Shemitz, which owns the building. He is a coin expert. So we have a lot of good, educated people in the club. And to me, the reason I joined the club, and I'll just say this right outright, I met Phil and Jocelyn, what about maybe 17 years ago or so? And they convinced me to get into the club. And I love it because there's a lot of camaraderie.
Exactly.
A lot of friendships that are
Exactly.
made through the club that we're in. Correct?
Exactly. Correct. And what I've learned about metal detecting, I've done it since 1988, 89, somewhere right in there. And the thing I've learned is, you go out and the stuff you find is just stuff, but it's the people you meet that is the treasures.
Exactly.
That are the true treasures. And when you go to one of these huge metal detecting hunts that they have now all across the country, Gypsy Jules just had her birthday hunt with American Digger with Butch Holcomb's group. And those hunts are like a big convention. And you get to see people that you haven't seen since the last convention. And that's what makes those hunts fun.
Absolutely.
It does. It's a lot of fun, and I think the clubs have the local experts. That just happens. Like with Richard, and even with you, Steve. You're an expert and an author. Why don't you show everybody your book so we can?
Oh, okay.
Because you're
actually.
Go ahead. You go ahead.
My book actually came about because of metal detecting. As a television producer, we were detecting a battlefield in Oklahoma called Cabin Creek Battlefield. And there had been 6 different battles of Cabin Creek. Of course, I didn't know that at the time. And so we're out there finding this stuff. And I'm thinking back in my mind, somebody should do a documentary about this. And that's what I did. In 92, we released, that's 32 years ago. We released a 90-minute feature-length documentary called Last Raid at Cabin Creek. And it continues to be shown today. You can see it on Prime Video. You can watch it on History Fix, which is a streaming service just for history buffs. You can watch it for free. That's right, for free on Tubi. And you can also see it on True TV Plus. That's a brand new streaming service, and they have a lot of different stuff. And so check it out on those 4 services. And we also, we moved to Spokane, Washington in 2001, and my wife was at a TV station, and at that time I didn't have a job. I was taking care of 2 little girls at home. And in the meantime, I was writing my book. I always thought, there's a book in this documentary. And that's what we did. That's what I did. First, it was privately published. And then back in 2012, Arcadia Publishing, which is the History Press, they published it. And the book is called The Second Battle of Cabin Creek, Brilliant Victory. And this is the hardback version. The softback version is this one right here. And we've had a lot of fun with this too. Came out in 2012, and it's still available on Amazon. The hardback and the softback are available on Amazon and at arcadiapublishing.com. You can also find it at Barnes & Noble, at Walmart. Basically, you can order it from basically any bookseller online. You'll see it. It's also available on Kindle, the Nook, iPad. It's also available at Google Play. And I've had a lot of fun with that. Got to meet a lot of people. Got to make presentations across the country about the Second Battle of Cabin Creek. And in a nutshell, it was the last Confederate raid north of the Arkansas River and into what is now northeastern Oklahoma. Then it was Indian Territory. And the Confederates, led by Brigadier General Richard Gannot and Brigadier General Stan Wadey surprised and captured a 300 wagon Union supply train far, far behind enemy lines. And they were able to capture most of the train, got away with 130 wagons, and made it back to what is now southern Oklahoma. So there is a good little adventure story in this, filled with cannons and grape shot and canister flying. And it was a rare Civil War night battle, fought about 1 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, it's a neat story, and I've been very lucky to be the one of the ones to tell it.
That's awesome. And that's the cool thing about clubs is we have people like yourself and other people who are expert in different areas of treasure hunting. That's why with Treasure Talk, we have, all forms of treasure hunting. We have fossils, bottles, coins, artifacts, relics, anything you name. So that's cool that you're in our club, and that's what you do. You meet a lot of people in the clubs. And I was just, I saw Ricky T's comment. I think seeing everyone's monthly finds is inspiring and excites you to get out and hunt. And I think it does do that.
Surely does.
It does. It really does. And hi, Jocelyn. I forgot to say hi.
He's over there on the other side.
It does. I got to go fossil hunt with Ricky T back in May, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, now my first shark's tooth was probably that big, but you should have seen my face when I saw that in that little trough. I mean, I was like, it was like finding a mini ball. If you guys can relate to that, or a silver coin, it was something you were looking for, and you got and you found it. And I hope to go back. It was a lot of fun. First time I'd ever done that.
Hey, I posted a picture here, and these are 3 large cents that I actually won Hunter of the Year. I think it was the year 2000, because this was one of the finds that I have found. Large cents I found here in Tampa, and that's what I was talking about with Ricky said. Seeing everyone's finds kind of inspires you. You wouldn't think you would find large cents in Tampa, but it can be done. That was in the downtown Tampa. I found a lot of artifacts, and that's something I'm learning on the StreamYard software, is to post some pictures. So that's kind of cool that we can do that.
And should we tell him, Joe, that was 23 years ago? He needs to go back and find another one.
I don't think I'll find another one. Although with my shop here, people have to bring them in and show them to me, and I'm just like, rubbing in my face. They found a large cent. Oh goodness.
Well, our club has been around since 1976, and it was officially incorporated in November. So this is our birthday month.
Yes.
We've been around 48 years.
Yes. Angie, I think, is from England or from Great Britain, because they find some old stuff over there. We get excited when we find something here in the 1800s, don't we?
Yes.
Guys, we really do. But yes, our club was formed, and I printed that off the website in 1976, and we're dedicated to the preservation of Florida history. And I think most clubs operate kind of in the same manner, don't you find, Steve, that they have a speaker, they'll have a monthly hunt competition, some fundraising efforts, whether it be a raffle or something like that.
Yes, they do. I was in the Northwest Treasure Hunters Club in Spokane. I was in the Tidewater Coin and Relic Club in Virginia Beach. And then I was in the Midwestern Artifact Society in Kansas City. And the people, and I may have said this before, I'm getting to that age, I can't remember what I just said. But some of the best people on earth, I've always said, are members of metal detecting clubs, because you get to meet a whole array of people, and they're friendly and they're knowledgeable, and just like Rick sharing all of his information about fossils. And you can see how excited he gets about it.
Yes. Yes. We get an excellent speaker like that. And it just, people are interested in that. You show a different part of the hobby. So that's really cool. And Steve, you're the treasurer, so you know our fundraising. You know how we do it. With our club, we normally have a silver raffle, and we have a super raffle that goes by for months, and Brent kind of heads that up, where we'll put together a whole bunch of different treasure. And now we got Andrew's got to really show us off. We love it here in England when we find hammering coins from the 1500s, and also the odd Roman fibula, etc. Yeah,
Rub it in, Angie.
rubbing it in. Oh goodness.
We'll get there one day, right?
Yes,
Trip
we'll have
over
to
to
take a
England.
trip over to England because I've had a lot of people invite me. I just haven't done it. But get
But
back.
Angie, you can't find these. You can't find mini balls from Idaho in England.
Yes, you can't do that.
You know, this is, and you know, you talk about artifacts. These are artifacts.
Absolutely.
How many people realize that in the post-war Union Army, which was by then, of course, the United States Army, in 1878, 79, was still using mini balls for target practice. These were cut from the firing range at Fort Sherman, Idaho, which is now Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. And we had a lot, talk about finding Civil War stuff in an out-of-the-way place. That took the cake for me.
Yeah.
But I'd love to go to England. Let's go.
Yeah, we're
Let's
going to
go.
do that. We're going to do it.
Yeah, that would sound like a lot of fun. But
And
yeah,
it'd be a lot of fun with people you know. I
right.
think.
Yeah, but part of getting back to part of our club, the way we fund our club, we do different types of fundraising. We raffle off the silver coins every month, and Joe actually is the guy sitting there selling the tickets. So we'll have like 10 different silver coins.
Absolutely.
Pulling the tickets.
The table. They come to the table because we've got some nice silver coins and some old coins there, and we sell a lot, and it brings in some nice funds for the club. That's absolutely true.
Yeah, and then we do the super raffle, which is just a group of different type of treasure and artifacts and different stuff. And then we haven't done this lately because we haven't had much call out, but we also have a thing finders group.
Mm-hmm.
And the main guy in that, Jim, his house got swamped in 2 hurricanes. So, and our beaches have pretty much been closed for the most part. So but that was an important part of our fundraising because we get a call from somebody who needs locate something. We go out and we look for it by donation. It's, you know, if they don't want to donate anything, they don't have to, but most of the time they do. And because they're so happy to get their item back, they'll make a donation. And it could be something small, or I've seen some big ones come through. So that's a question there from Angie. What are mini balls? Why don't you give her the script on why it's called a mini ball?
Well, it was created. It was designed by a fellow named Minnie from France, and I'll hold it up here if I can get one of them up. It's kind of white. They're white lead anyway, but it's 58 caliber. So it was a slow moving bullet, heavy, backed by black powder. And when it tore into flesh, that's exactly what it did. It was like a punch. It would take away the flesh, and then of course most of the bone if you were hitting somebody in the arm or the shoulder. And this is before the invention of plastic surgery. I mean, surgery was in its infancy stage during the Civil War, but that's what led to triage. Also, ambulances on the battlefield, getting the wounded to hospital tents. And of course, doctors didn't really understand in those days about germs, and so that led to all types of complications. But by the time the Spanish-American War rolled around 30 years later, things had changed. But I hope that kind of answered. It probably came out of a Springfield musket, rifled musket, and we were fortunate enough to find the old rifle range. We also found some old coins. I have one that's, I believe it's seeded 1877, which I think is a key date, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's the 1877 O or something like that. I'll have to ask Richard about that. But
yeah, those mini balls, I think a lot of people call them three ringers or.
Yeah, three ringers. I've heard that.
You also have the one with the little piece on the end, the cleaner bullet.
Williams cleaner bullet. And the thing about relics is, if you tell people I collect this stuff or I treasure hunt, your friends, sometimes they'll find this stuff and they'll go, what am I going to do with it? I don't want this. Well, Steve will take it. And tell people you collect stuff. I've always been told that. Tell them I collect coins, I collect stamps, I collect pirate memorabilia, I collect this, and this. It finds its way to you somehow. It'll find its way to you, whether it's with a metal detector or with a friend shows up and says, "Hey, I have this old Civil War musket. Would you like to have it?"
That's so interesting. It does come to you because I share my hobby with everybody, and one of my best, and this has probably been 25 or 30 years ago, one of my best sites was a school that was close to downtown Tampa was demolished and just left an open field. It was like a 2-block square. It was
just a little lot.
Yes, and I had a police officer tell me about it. Said, "Hey, they just leveled this." He didn't know it was a school. I researched and found out it was a school, and I dug that lot like forever. Every Sunday afternoon, that was where I would be at, looking for old coins and stuff. But yeah, you have to tell everybody about your hobby for sure. And it looks like we had a question, or first a comment, and that was from Dirty Paul's Detecting. If I can find that. I won the Morgan Dollar. That was our door prize for the members for the last meeting that we had. And it was 1 week late. We're normally the third Tuesday night of the month, but with the hurricane, we had to make it the fourth Tuesday night. And they won the Morgan Dollar, so that was kind of cool.
That was a good door prize.
That was an excellent door
prize
for sure. And the next meeting, we had a question. Tim Naylor was asking when the next meeting was. In November, it looks like it'll be November the 28th for our next meeting here in Tampa.
19th.
The 19th?
Yeah, the 19th, Phil.
Oh, I guess I'm blinded by the
the 28th, I think, is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, you're absolutely right. Tuesday, it's the 18th. Or
we know where his mind is.
I'm looking at the wrong calendar. I'm looking at next year's calendar. So,
you're ahead of the game, Phil.
So if you want one of these 2025 calendars, all you have to do is come to the shop. You're going to get one whether you want it or not. Josh, so what was the date for the meeting then?
November 19th.
November 19th is the meeting. Oh, yeah, I guess I should look at the one on the wall and not the
normally people try and travel with a metal detector. Well, Phil just kind of does it himself and goes in and out.
Traveling.
Yes. So, Steve, what is our door prize for this month's meeting? So, if you're in the Tampa Bay area, you got to come check us out.
Yeah, the door prize this month is a 90% silver Cuban coin, and you can pronounce it better than I can.
Joe's got it.
What is it?
It's a 40 centavos, right?
40 centavos, yeah. 40 centavos.
So it'd be 40 centavos.
40
And we
So
also have some
proud.
neat raffle prizes too. We
Yeah.
have silver quarters, we have silver halves, walking Liberty halves. We have one barber in there. We have a 2 cent, 1864 2 cent piece that'll be in the raffle. We also
Oh,
have a
nice.
piece of jewelry that it's a pin. It was made from an 1872 S half dime.
Oh, that
So
is cool.
we're going to
Nice.
have that in there
That
too.
would be nice.
So,
Yeah,
and then of course we also, every year we have our auction. That's another big
Fundraiser.
fundraiser. Yeah, and I was really surprised at how much that brought in. I had never got to attend until the one last July.
Yeah, it's pretty cool when we have Steve Lender in there. He's a professional auctioneer, and he does the auction as bar none the best I've ever heard. And I've seen him come in and do them for as long as I've been in the club,
Oh, really?
year after year. Yeah, he's good.
that's a good looking button there, isn't it?
It is.
That's an early one-piece Marine Corps button that I dug in Tampa.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Phil. Where'd you get that off your sport jacket?
No, I wasn't in the Marines, so I wasn't in any service, so don't say that.
That's pre-Civil War, so about like 1820,
Yeah, I
1812 to
think so.
1820.
In early 1800s.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good.
Yeah, it's amazing that some of the buildings that were built in downtown Tampa were up on pilings or piers, and the stuff that was underneath of it was all the part of the fort site, and it was just protected from weather. They probably built those buildings in the 1870s through 1890s, and it's just amazing the shape that they were.
Well, and that's what amazes me about the soil here in Florida. The sandy soil means it's going to run off. The water's going to run off. I've dug Civil War battlefields in Virginia that have had 200 years of fertilizer, and when buttons come out, they don't look like that.
No, they come out, and when I hunted in Culpeper, the two-piece buttons the metal was very thin and fragile. Whereas down here, the metal, it's not, most of the time, it might be a little tarnished, but it's not eaten away. And
especially the one piece. The one piece looked like he dropped it yesterday.
Yes.
Somebody dropped it.
Yes, it's crazy. Hey, Joe, Linda Vizzi says she wants a 2025 calendar. What, you're slipping, buddy?
I definitely got to bring her one. I'll grab one on Saturday.
Oh, that's funny. Yes. Oh, you're slipping. So, yeah, Angie says lovely detail on the buttons. For sure. It's just, I love always any type of artifact. I think it's really cool because, a soldier wore that, 150 some years ago. And
in the heat.
Yeah. And if you read any history books on Florida forts, they were wearing wool uniforms.
Yes.
And
I think about that every summer. It's like, I don't know how, and then they marched through the swamp and the heat and the humidity, and there was no such thing as air conditioning in those days. I guess that was when you stopped and had a cool drink of water, if you could find a cool drink of water.
Well, if it was a Florida spring, you would be lucky, and it would be 72 degrees year round. So they probably went and took a little bath real quick too. And Tom Becker says, "There goes the employee of the month, Joe."
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired for that one.
Oh goodness. Well, I'm looking down my list, and that's one of the cool things about our club, and even here on Treasure Talk, the speakers we get are, yourself included, Steve, are just awesome. Because I know you did a presentation at the club. That's where I got my book from you there. So that's the cool thing about clubs. Most of the time, they'll get a history buff or somebody who knows local history and get them to be a speaker. Because we've had people who were in the Marines. That's why I posted that button. And they'll do a presentation on the Marines activity here in Florida. and it's just really cool. I think that's a good thing about clubs. You get to learn your local history, and you get to meet a lot of people who've had experience. Like when I found that button there, the person I found it with has since passed away. I used to hunt with him all the time, Jim Singleton, and he was a club member since the beginning of the club. He was around in 1976 when it formed, and he taught me a lot. I learned a lot of stuff from him because I'll never forget. I think he had a 1266 was his Fisher detector, and he had a 4-inch coil, or the coil that was like this size. Maybe it was a 3-inch coil, and that's what we had to do years ago because the processors and the detectors were so slow. You had to hunt slow, and you had to use a real small coil when you were hunting in the heavy iron, and that's how I scored a lot of that stuff. And I know a lot of people use smaller coils now when their Equinoxes or their Manticores or their Legends, their knockoff products, because it's so much easier with a smaller coil. Yeah, you don't go as deep, but you separate targets so much easier.
A lot faster.
Exactly. And, I used to call my 1266 my mini ball machine. That was really the first quote unquote detector I had. I had a bounty hunter, which was good at finding cannonball frags, but not really much else. And of course, this has been, 30 years ago. I won't date myself, but 30, I think I've been detecting for, close to 40 years now. And, but when I got that 1266 Fisher, the people that got me in this hobby were like my second set of parents, Jack and Norma Jean Mullen. And they knew everything there was to know about finding Civil War relics. And I was very lucky to meet them. And but that 1266, when I sold it to a friend of mine who I was detecting with in Kansas City, he promptly went out and found a coin spill that included a silver Franklin $50. So
Nice.
It still had some magic in it.
Yes. Yeah, Jim, that's all he would use forever. He finally bought a White's XLT from me, but he used that Fisher and that small coil. And the first time I hunted with him, I said, "Why you got that small coil in there?" He says, "You got to go get yourself a small coil." And I was using White's products at the time, so I got a White's 4-inch coil, and I realized right away why we were using it, because we were hunting in real heavy iron, and it just it helped out so much when you're hunting in heavy trash or heavy iron. The smaller coils just do superior. And I'm looking at some of the comments. This one is from Dirty Paul's Detecting. He said KT and Sid Jones were great speakers. Yeah, we had them speak at our club, and they were around when they found the Tocha main pile. They were working for Mel Fisher at the time, so they had some very interesting presentation at the club for sure.
Yeah, those are great speakers for sure.
Absolutely.
We got a comment here from Derek Sherwin, and he's mentioning that the 9-inch coil for the Deus 2 is great for separation and pretty good on depth too. That's all I use, Derek, on my Deus 2 is that 9-inch coil, and that thing goes plenty deep, and it's awesome in the to separate trash in the field for sure.
Yeah, I think the newer detectors, the MindLab products, the Deus, the Ledger products, the processors are so much faster today. I wish we had that technology, 25 years ago. Yeah, wouldn't that have been something?
Then places would have been hunted out.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And it looks like my buddy Phil Eisenhower says hi, everyone. So, hey, Phil. And boy, let's keep going with our club. So we talked about our speakers, and they are used for education purposes too, because a lot of times you're getting started in this hobby, the club is the best place to go and learn and get education, get up to speed so much faster. I've always found that.
Yeah, and we, like Phil and I at the club, We have a lot of people that are not really familiar with the machine they're using. And Phil and I go and we talk about the different detectors that are out in the market and how to properly use them. Right, Phil?
Yeah, we give them some guidance, sure.
Yeah.
We try to twist our arms and get their hunting spots too.
Yeah, that never happens.
You know, I've been in clubs when we've had speakers who have, well, and we had Tom do his little spiel on what he found on his recent trip to England and how he wasn't about to throw 300 or 400-year-old coins in the hedgerow. So the archaeologist would have to list them for the Treasure Trove Act. One time I remember in a club we had someone come from Batteries Plus and talk about how batteries really worked. Because, of course, in those days, everybody, you know, we were putting batteries in our machines, and now they're in the machines and we just recharge them. But it was interesting. I mean, I'd been around, of course, camera batteries all my career, but to watch him talk about how batteries lose their power, and it's not gradual, it's here and they're gone. And so it just interesting stuff you don't even think about until it happens to you, and you have a machine with a drained battery.
Yes. Absolutely. So let's talk about a little bit about our seated hunts. We tried to do as a club hunt as a group years ago when Jeff Zona was the president. He did a couple hunts out in the field. They were old properties that he was in construction, so he got us some sites there, and they were pretty interesting. But years ago, the club used to do. Now this is in the 70s. They would do camping trips like to Fort White, because I always heard about them. I was too busy working. I couldn't do those camp outs, and they would camp out right on a fort site and just dig all weekend.
Oh, wow.
That would have been cool to have been back in the 70s to do that, but I was too busy working, and in the early 80s I was working and I had kids, so I couldn't do any weekend camp out trips. But we do seated hunts on the beach, and we actually have one, if you're a member of the West State Club, we have one scheduled in December, but it looks like we're going to end up rescheduling it because the park that we hunted at is Fort DeSoto Park, which is very metal detector friendly on the beaches, because I think they think we clean their beaches up for them, which we actually do. But the park is actually closed due to Hurricane Milton. Some roads washed out, so the board hasn't met yet. I'm not on the board, but I do attend the board meetings. But I'm sure they're going to vote on that, probably rescheduling that till January. So you would have to be a paid 2024 member to do that hunt. But at these seated hunts, like our club, I think the board voted to put out $2,500 worth of different silver prizes and tokens for prizes for that hunt. And if you have, like right now, I think we have 60 some members, paid members, you got a good chance of finding a good bit of that treasure.
That's true.
Because it's dimes, quarters, silver, and silver dimes and quarters and some halves, and then prize tokens. So that's a pretty good hunt. You've done that before, haven't you, Joe?
Oh, yeah, that's a blast.
Well,
I know
and
you and
we'll
I
have
felt
a super
very
raffle.
competitive.
And then we'll give away the super raffle at the hunt too.
Yes.
Yes. We pulled the tickets for the super raffle prizes, and that's the club has collected stuff all year long and put in the super raffle. And I think they're doing 3 of them this year. And they would have
3 individual winners.
Right. So you would get a assortment of silver coins, artifacts, and all different stuff in there, and that's used for a fundraiser also. And it looks like we got a comment from Angie. I'm envious you guys in Florida having all those Spanish wrecks on the coast, lovely beaches to detect. That's on the east coast of Florida, which is 2-3 hours from us. But it is nice to hunt over there. 4 hours. Oh yeah, I forgot traffic. Traffic, yes, yes. 4 hours traffic, yes.
Everything here is 4 hours away.
Yeah.
Orlando is 4 hours away.
Yes, it's 90 miles, but if you have to travel I-4, yeah,
Exactly.
it's the traffic's horrendous. Everybody moved to Florida. I don't know what's going on here,
Yeah.
but everybody's moved here. But
Beautiful state. I was born
It
and
is.
raised here, so I thoroughly enjoy it.
yeah, I like our West Coast beaches better. I think they're prettier, and of course, the water is nicer. In my opinion, you don't get beat up by the high surf if you watch the wave reports. So I'm partial to the West Coast, but the we don't have the beach erosion that they do on the East Coast. So your chances of finding an old silver coin are very low on our beaches. Would you guys agree to that?
Yes.
You're right.
Yes. There are a couple of wrecks, but they're in spots that aren't really accessible from the beach. A couple or several miles out. There is a warship. It's off of Tarpon. It's closer to Tarpon than it is to Indian Rocks Beach or Madeira Beach or Treasure Island or Honeymoon Island. So there are wrecks here, but not like the 1715 fleet that was carrying all of that silver and gold for the Spanish king.
Yeah, it looks like Dirty Paul's detecting put up there. They moved here. They moved here. All of them moved to Florida because they heard about Myers metal detectors, and also Joe Beasy.
Yeah, we won't be undersold.
That's why I bought mine there.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a good selection. We try to always have the best price. So don't waste your time putting it on going to Amazon. We'll do you better, absolutely, for sure.
And we educate you on your machine before you leave the building.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a plus right there.
Yeah.
Yes, if you know how to turn it on and put it in a program and get started, that's we aim to do that every time we help somebody purchase a detector. And it also, the cool thing about having a store is you get to pick the product up and feel it, put it in your hand, make sure that's one you think you want to hunt with, because you're going to spend a lot of hours with it, hopefully. Anyway, so I guess we're going to try to give out a swag pack, aren't we?
Yes.
So Joe, you keep Steve, keep talking about the club, and I'm going to try to figure out how to do a swag pack.
Yeah, I was blessed that, I was a treasurer of the club for 4 years, and thank the good Lord that Steve Warren accepted that responsibility, and he's doing an outstanding job. Right, Steve?
Oh, well, thank
You love it. No, you're doing a fabulous job.
Oh, I do. I like it. Plus, you get to know people. You put name with the face,
Exactly.
and you get, and everybody knows who you are. You're the
Yeah.
money guy.
Yeah, that's why I like to. I keep active in the club, and I do the raffles every month, and raffle off the silver coins that you purchase. So that's perfect.
Well, and you need to come and watch Joe do that because he's entertaining. And let me tell you something. We are serious about metal detecting and about relic hunting and coin shooting and beach hunting. But let me tell you something. We like to laugh, and we laugh a lot in that club. I mean, we like to enjoy being with each other.
You know me. I'm a part-time comedian. Remember at the Phil? You remember at the last hunt, the microphone with the speaker, and I got up there. I was doing the Joe Pesci impersonation.
Yeah, that was hilarious. Everybody was down on the hunt field doing the hunt, and Joe and I and some of the wives and Jocelyn was up with us, and Joe was entertaining us as Joe Pesci.
Yeah, we were having a good time, and that's what it's all about. Like I said before, it's all about the camaraderie. Since I got in this club, made so many friends, and those are the treasures, is the friendships you make along the way. So
that's true. That's true. And sometimes you get to find stuff like this. I mean, it's this is actually Cannonball. I think I showed you earlier. I can't remember if I did or not, but people bring stuff like this to the club meeting.
Exactly.
Paul is a good example. Paul, I think he's found pretty much everything. Spanish relics and just museum type of things that you would never think that someone could walk out into the swamp or near the river and find. But people have, and they bring it to the club to show it, and it is really interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. The different finds that people bring in, and then they'll do a talk on what they found. It's just incredible. You learned it. That's the knowledge you learn in metal detecting clubs. You get that. So it looks like I've got the hashtag swag up. I managed to get that far with this.
You got it.
So we're going to give them a few minutes to put their names on. And for you, what you guys don't know is you're going to get one of these guys. You're going to get a T-shirt, and more than likely you're going to get a calendar and a Mind Lab hat too. A Mind Lab had given us some stuff for our Mind Lab day, so we're going to use that.
You'll be getting a Mind Lab hat, which is high quality. That's probably one of the best hats that I've seen come from one of the metal detector companies. And you're also going to get a gaiter for your neck. And when it's real hot and you're outdoors, you can pull it over like as a hood as well. And it comes with a keychain and bottle opener.
Yeah, that's pretty
And you
cool.
can put it inside your hat and let it go down. That's one thing I learned about beach hunting. Let it go down and cover your neck, the back of your neck.
Absolutely. And it looks like Tim Naylor said, and you get a free calendar. Yeah, if you come in the store, you're going to get a free calendar. If you purchase something on my eBay store, Metal Detector Guru, or if you buy something off my website, MyersDepot.com, you're going to get that calendar. And if it's a Mind Lab product, you're probably going to get one of those Mind Lab hats till they're going. So I think we're gathering a bunch of.
We had quite a few people enter the drawing. If anybody else that's watching, please put the hashtag swag exactly as it's spelled on the screen there, please.
And Stacy R says 61 people watching, only 29 likes. What's up? You don't like us? Come on.
Hey, make an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, hit the like button so that I don't know what that does, but I think it does something.
What it does is it changes the YouTube algorithm. Yeah, algorithm, and it gets more people, involved.
Exposure. Yeah, so the people know about it. So anyway, I am going to make sure you guys know before the next Tampa Metal Detecting Club the meeting is. I'll make sure I post it. And so if you are in the Tampa Bay area, you can stop in and join our club because it is a lot of fun there. You'll learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of nice people. Hopefully Joe can make you laugh. And you'll have a good time for sure. So you think we gathered enough names there?
Yeah.
All right. So let me see here.
And that's a good one, Louis Villarreal. 32 people don't have thumbs. It's a good comment.
All righty. So let me see
They want more impersonations, Joe.
Let's see if I can do this. Let me see. Don't stop talking, guys.
No, we don't want no dead air, right? Right, Phil?
Yeah.
No dead air.
Why ain't he talking?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So
Yeah, come to the club meeting. It's going to be on.
There we go. I got it going. I can't
Oh,
believe
here
that.
it goes.
I hit
Oh,
the
look
button.
at this.
Denise Marks,
Denise Marks.
you are the winner. So
Denise
you have.
Marks, winner, chicken dinner.
So I actually did that. I did that right, didn't I?
Yeah,
It looked good.
I saw more than one name go through.
Yeah, I did
You're on
too.
top of it.
Yeah. The one time I did it, I got it on the screen. I forgot to share it. It was doing it, but only 2 names rolled by, and we had the winner. It really was going for like 20 or 30 seconds. So let me see if I can put the banner up with.
Denise, once Phil puts on the screen, just shoot an email and put what size T-shirt that you'd like to have. So you're going to get the towel, the Mind Lab hat, the little gator thing. You're also going to get a Myers metal detector T-shirt. So we need you to email first and last name and the size of your shirt with your address and all your pertinent information.
And
Yes.
hold out for the keychain. If he
Exactly.
doesn't send it, email him.
No, it'll be there.
The
I'll
bottle.
be there to pack it up.
Yes. Joe will pack that up and get that out as soon as. I guess Jeff. There might be a little bit of delay because I don't know where Jeff's at right now. If he is in Europe or where he's at, because he'll forward the email to me, so it might be a few days delay. The same thing with the winners from last week's shows. I'm going to have to check with Fred to see if he got that information already for the winners from last week.
Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, Jeff is on a traveling hiatus, so that's why I'm filling in.
Yes,
to help my buddy Phil here.
Yes, because Jeff went to New England, and then I think he's going to Europe, and then he's also in between all this. He's doing a move because he's moving from Florida to Georgia, to be closer with family. So he's doing a lot of things that I'm glad I'm not doing.
Exactly.
I'm not doing a move because I've been in my house for too long, collected too many things over the last almost 40 years. I've collected too many metal detector finds, too much stuff, so I wouldn't want to have to pack it all up and move it, for sure.
And Phil, just not to interrupt you, but Fred Banky, my buddy, he just put on here, no information yet on last week's winner.
Okay, all right, well, we'll get that taken care of tomorrow. Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred, for responding. We appreciate you.
And we have moved several times, and I have moved relics across country. And we moved here. Matter of fact, it was 10 years ago last month, and I'm not moving again.
Nah.
I'm done. Tulsa to a little town. It's not little now, suburb of Wsas, where we built a house. And then it was Spokane, Virginia Beach, Overland Park, Kansas / Kansas City, and then here. And that's enough moving for one lifetime.
And you live in North Tampa, right?
I live northwest.
Northwest. Okay.
Northwest. Palm Harbor.
Yes. Gotcha.
And I'm only 2 miles from the coast. Luckily, we live on a hill. So if ever there was a wave that big, we could fish out of my front yard and we'd be fine. We're talking Walking Dead apocalypse by that time, because we'd be the last 4 houses in our addition. But
Yeah.
But I feel for people at Crystal Beach and those outlying areas.
Clearwater.
Yeah,
Clearwater got decimated. So did Dunedin.
Dunedin.
I have a customer that they're almost finished gutting the entire inside of their building, and they're rebuilding. So it's been crazy. Crazy times.
And the county's now started to pick up the storm debris. At least they have here.
Yes.
But I think that kind of helps, with the healing, especially if you have, it looks like a wall of stuff sitting outside your house.
Yeah, it was for sure, probably the most devastating storm, having been here my whole life, that I've ever witnessed.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah, we had a lot of flooding, not by us, but close by. We had like Forest Hills and down around the university, there was flooding, but we're up high and dry, but we had a lot of wind damage in our area. That's why the shop here was without power for 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of painful when you're a business owner and not have any sales for 10 days. You just
the local meteorologist said it was like going through an EF1 tornado. But I've been through tornadoes, and tornadoes don't last 2 hours at wind gusts of 90 to 100 miles an hour. A tornado might be on the ground for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute, and then it goes back up. But what we went through to sit there and watch windows, and my favorite is the sliding glass door doing this.
Yeah, just
pulsating. Looked like something out of a movie.
Yes, it was a little scary. Hey, I'm going to pop another picture up on the screen, and we'll chat about it. That's some finds. That's those type of finds you could date your site. When you start finding clay pipe and that blue edge or feather edge pottery, and those are all non-metallic except for the flint patch up there. You ever found a flint patch like that, Steve?
I have not. I have some in my collection because I love looking now for Seminole Indian War stuff. I have come across some of the pipes and the blue edge pottery, the ironstone. Look for flowers, look for daffodils out in the middle of no place, and pretty much you're going to find a house site.
Yeah, and that's that. I found all those while digging those pipe stems while digging here in downtown Tampa. Same thing with the pistol flint and the musket flint.
That's cool. That arrowhead is almost intact, just missing the point.
Yeah, missing the point. But to me, I'm not a big arrowhead. Yeah, I'm not an arrowhead hunter, but I thought it was cool. So
absolutely,
that is cool. That is cool.
Yeah, you see something like that, and you just, to me, it's just a neat find, and that's why I kept it. And I know guys that do that. They dig for arrowheads, but that's too much like work. You're digging a huge trench, just shaving the edge. Here in Florida, that's how they do it. Up in Maryland, I would just, we're almost out of time, aren't we? Up in Maryland, I would just scour the farm fields after they plowed them, especially after it rained, and they'd be sitting on top of the ground. So anyway, it looks like our time is just about up.
Yeah, that hour just flew through.
Thank you, Steve, for coming on.
Thank you.
Talking about your book, of course, and also talking about the club, because we appreciate that. We like to get everybody involved in it, and I think the club is the best. All clubs are cool because I've been to 5 of them here in Florida, and I just think it's a good way to learn about your hobby is to join a club. So if you want
new friends,
go to Second Cabin Creek on Facebook.
There you go, Second Cabin Creek. Hey, Steve, you should post that link on the Treasure Talk page too.
Okay, I will. Thank you, Phil.
Post that on there. Post a picture of your book too, for sure.
I'll do it.
And with that, folks, I want to say thank you to all the members. Thank you to you, Steve, to Joe, to Jocelyn, and all the members on Facebook and on YouTube. And happy hunting and dig deeper. And I'll let you say something there, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
And Joe?
Yeah, as always, thank you all for tuning in tonight. We couldn't have a show without the many viewers, and we appreciate it. And great guest, Steve. Thank you so much, brother.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely.
All righty. Have a good night, guys.
Good night, everybody. Take care.